Addison. Welcome to our brand new show, The Inside Scoop with AARP Indiana. We are back. It's a new year. We're trying new things. And we have this new monthly video series that we're going to be doing throughout the year to keep folks informed on everything that AARP Indiana is working on. And so super excited to be here. As I said, my name is Emily, and I am joined by Addison, my colleague. We're both directors of community engagement for AARP. And so we're here just to provide you with a little quick tidbit of some of the issues that AARP is working on, so that you can be informed and stay in the loop on everything AARP. So Addison, I'm going to let you dive into a little bit more about what this show is, and what we're hoping to cover over the next couple of episodes. So I'll let you take it away.
For sure. Thanks, Emily. It's good to be here. So the monthly video podcast, The Inside Scoop with AARP Indiana, don't forget it. What we do is we work on the local and at the local and federal levels on issues. Primarily we work in target communities. So I work in Indianapolis and Evansville. Emily, you work in Fort Wayne and Gary. So we're just going to be telling the story of the work that we do alongside our volunteers, community partners, decision makers, issue experts, et cetera, and how we fulfill our mission at the local level primarily. So our mission is to empower Hoosiers 50 plus and their families to choose how they live as they age. So that's what you're going to hear us talking about. So whether you're interested in aging in place, volunteerism, local advocacy, federal advocacy, this is the place for you. With that, when do you expect to hear from the show?
Yeah, we're going to plan to have a new episode released on the fourth Wednesday of every month. So regular time, regular day. And if you want to be notified of when there is a new episode, be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube page. We also will have these appear on our AARP Indiana Facebook page as well. So you can find them in both locations. But if you want to be notified for when there's a new episode, and actually for any show that we host on our YouTube channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button. And that way you'll always be in the loop first. But as Addison said, the goal of the show is really just to make sure that folks know that, your membership to AARP is more than just a membership. We're out there, we're working in your communities, we are advocating for you. And also, this is just an opportunity for us to introduce you to some of our wonderful volunteers, our community leaders, elected officials, things like that throughout the year. So we are excited to kick things off. And Addison, for this first episode, we're covering a super important topic that we're working on right now. And you had a really great conversation with one of our volunteers recently.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a great segue, talking about hearing from our wonderful volunteers. So you're going to be hearing from one of our all-star volunteers. They're all all-stars, but Vicki Small holds a special place in my heart. Vicki is she serves on the AARP Indiana Executive Council, which is our volunteer board, advisory board. She is the co-leader of the volunteer team in Evansville and has served on that team for probably like 8 years or so. She was one of the first volunteers that I had recruited. So like I said, she holds a special place in my heart. But the conversation that we had was about cryptocurrency ATMs, but specifically the fraud that happens with these machines. There's a scam that is currently growing in popularity that is taking advantage of folks of all ages, but especially Hoosiers 60 plus, 50, 60 plus. There's some good data on that and how much it impacts them. But we talk about the crypto ATM fraud, the scam, how it works, its impact, but specifically what Evansville, the city of Evansville, did to address that at the local level, which is really cool. So Vicki talks about what the volunteers did to engage on that issue, and then how that is leading into a state legislative effort that's currently underway. So I think we can just kind of take it from there. Let's check out the conversation.
Hey, welcome, Vicki. Thanks for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great, Addison. How are you doing?
So good, so good. It's good to see you. Happy New Year. Emily and I wanted to bring you on the show to talk about the latest cryptocurrency kiosk or ATM scam and what the city of Evansville has done or did last year to take the first steps in the entire state to address the issue. So before we jump into what the city of Evansville did and the AARP Indiana team down there did to support that issue, I briefly want to just explain to the audience, what this cryptocurrency ATM issue is. What is this scam? So, in very broad strokes, I'll break it down. So, the victim will often receive an out of the blue communication, typically a phone call. Sometimes it'll be a text, an email from a scammer. Scammers posing as an official authority, whether it be law enforcement, bank representative, or someone else. The criminal convinces the victim that they must address an urgent financial matter, which is obviously a fabricated issue, but nevertheless, they direct them to withdraw large amounts of cash from their bank and then head to the nearest cryptocurrency ATM machine. And these machines, as you know, can be found in convenience stores, gas stations, grocery stores. The victim is then instructed on how to insert their cash into the crypto ATM. Once it's deposited, it's then transferred to the criminal almost instantly. So when the transaction is complete, the scammer cuts off communication and the victim has no way of getting their money back. It is practically impossible to retrieve that money. So this is you may, out there in our virtual audience, you may not be aware of this scam. You might not even know what these machines look like, but they are very, they're very common and they're all over the place. According to the FBI, more than $333 million was lost in this type of scam last year in 2025. 85% of those losses were experienced by older adults, adults aged 65 and older. There are now more than 45,000 crypto ATMs nationwide, just under 900 in the state of Indiana. So the problem continues to grow in both scope and impact, and that's why AARP is taking the steps to educate folks and inform them that this is happening, and also advocating at the local and state levels. So, Vicki, that's where you come in. So in September 2025, the city of Evansville became the first municipality in Indiana to take actions to address this problem. The city has around 70 cryptocurrency ATMs in the city. There were around 25 reported fraud cases last year, with the average loss being around $10,000 a person. So, Vicki, that's where you come in. Let's talk. So, to start, when was the first time you heard about this issue, and were you surprised that it was happening in your backyard, in your community?
I had noticed crypto ATMs and hadn't really paid any attention to them at all. And an Evansville detective, Detective Van Cleve, who is responsible for fraud, actually got in touch with your office, Addison, and then you got in touch with us. And so he got on a call with us and explained what was going on. And I mean, my eyes were just wide open and didn't realize it. And interestingly enough, as we worked with this, I have two friends who got calls from these scammers locally. One of them actually ended up spending $14,000, and the other called me, and I was able to stop her and have her hang up because the call was, I knew what it was from Detective Van Cleve. So,
She called you mid
with her, she called me with her son's phone. She was on the cell phone with the scammer, and then called me and said, "Hey, I'm worried about this." And as soon as she said, he told me to go to a drugstore, and I'm like, hang up the phone, because I know the cryptos are in drugstores locally. So,
yeah, it's
frightening.
It's very frightening. Lucky for her that she knew that you were in touch with this issue. So, tell me a little bit more about what the city of Evansville did. The city council, the mayor signed it into law. What did they do to help prevent this fraud from occurring in the future?
Well, I think one of the key things, one of the city councilors got involved with us immediately, and you and Amber were able to provide her with some sample legislation that she then took to the city attorney, and they were able to craft a law according to city guidelines. Couldn't go as far as we wanted to, but they were able to craft a law using really AARP guidelines for what it should include. So it included things like all the crypto ATMs have to have a notice about the potential fraud that they're being used for. And they have to have a detailed receipt, because a lot of these didn't even produce receipts. So people had no record of what had happened to them. And then they need to have like a customer service number where somebody could call in. And then there are some fines for violations of these things. But again, small measures, but just something to try to help the public be aware that these machines are being used 90% of the time to fraud victims.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, that's to what you said earlier. It was within the city's, to the fullest extent of their authority, they tried to address this issue, or have so far. So how did the AARP Indiana volunteer team down in Evansville support this effort? How did you get it across the finish line?
It was really timely, because we were actually working on some fraud presentations using, the AARP toolkits to be able to do that. So we had a group that was already kind of tuned into this. And so we all got involved. A couple of the people from that group sat in on calls with Detective Van Cleve so we could understand what it was and speak to the problem using our own words. And then we showed up at the city council meeting where they were hearing this and gave testimony. I think AARP Indiana also presented a letter and testimony. And then we also were able, following that meeting, to speak with a couple of the news media outlets about what was happening and why this was important.
Oh, great. Yeah. Getting the word out there through, local media, I feel like that's almost as important as passing an ordinance, because you're generating that awareness. That's fantastic. So finally, what does it mean to you in the AARP Evansville team to be like on the cutting edge of this work? Does it feel good?
It feels really great, really exciting. Yeah. And just to know we were the first city to pass this in Indiana, that felt great.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, no, I mean, the Evansville team, you all are always kind of, at the city council meetings, rallying for our issues. So we really appreciate all you do. And it's just fantastic. So thank you for, participating in this brief interview. I definitely want to share with our viewers that the AARP Indiana staff is working on this at the state level. So the state legislative session is underway. There's a bill right now. It's House Bill 1116, virtual currency kiosks, which aims to further regulate these cryptocurrency ATMs and prevent more Hoosiers from being scammed. So definitely want you to learn more about that. Check out the legislative director talking about legislative things, the sister show of the Inside Scoop with AARP Indiana, for more information on that. Definitely wanted to share a couple of resources with you all. If you're not aware of the AARP's Fraud Watch Network, this is a really important resource where you can find articles, tools, all sorts of great items to assist you in uncovering scams and learning more about the different frauds that are out there. They have a podcast called The Perfect Scam, and they have one on the top 5 things to know about crypto scams. So check that out. ABC's Good Morning America also did a really fantastic video segment on this issue, so you can check that out. Just search that in your internet browser. But otherwise, Vicki, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all you do, and we'll see you out there.
Thanks for helping us help our people.
Of course.
That was an awesome conversation with you and Vicki. So thank you so much for filling us in on all the work that is being done in Evansville to help protect people from these scams that are happening with crypto ATMs. This is also just a really great story that helps to emphasize how something that happens on a local level with folks taking action and advocating can then lead to more action being taken at a state level and a federal level. So hopefully this is going to lead to much bigger things as well.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, and it's really cool to see. So this is just a great example of that. So if you would like to continue to stay informed with this work that we're working on right now and other issues that we work on, make sure that you sign up to become one of AARP's activists. So on your screen, you can see there are a couple of different ways that you can stay informed and stay in the loop. The first one is, as I said, to become an activist. If you scan this QR code, you will receive our monthly e-newsletter and email action alerts that let you know the issues that we're working on here in Indiana, and how you can get involved, whether that's sending an email to your legislators, whether that's calling, anything like that. It makes it super easy, just a couple clicks of a button, and we do most of the work for you. So that's one way. The second way is to sign up for our text alerts. So if you text to that number on the screen, you can stay informed that way and get notified of everything that we're working on. And lastly, you can just sign up for our AARP emails by scanning that second QR code there. And that keeps you in the loop for the issues that we're working on, but also when we have events and things in your area, you'll get notified based on where you live. It will be customized to you. So those are just some really great ways to stay in touch and stay informed. We also have all of our social media pages linked at the bottom there as well. Addison, do you want to let folks know about our other shows and other ways to stay in the loop?
Yeah, I want to make a quick plug for the legislative director talking about legislative things, particularly because that our legislative director is currently working on this ATM, cryptocurrency ATM issue at the Indiana State House with the Indiana General Assembly. So check out their latest episode to learn more about that issue and that campaign. We also have a pledge form for this particular issue where you can sign up and sign this petition, just stating that you care about this issue and addressing this issue. And then lastly, we want to kind of leave you with some action items. So, be on the lookout for these cryptocurrency ATMs, these virtual currency kiosks at your local convenience store, gas stations, grocery store, whatever it may be. Just kind of take note of what they look like. And if you see anyone using them, maybe kind of like pay attention, see if they're being scammed. I think that's a lot of how this is being cracked down on currently without it being really regulated. Is just kind of that peer-to-peer grassroots outreach. So you also might want to contact local decision makers, whether it be city council members, folks of influence, and just ask what's being done to address this issue locally as we wait for something from the state to come down the pike. So definitely look into that, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks.